Welcome. This video is to help utilize Duff and Phelps Cost of Capital Analyzer inside of the Pro software the most effective way. Typically, I recommend people start out at the Databases tab because they get a little extra functionality. Then you would select the Cost of Capital Analyzer over here. The problem is that the Cost of Capital Analyzer requires inputs. Those inputs are done through the analysis file. If you do select the Databases tab, you do get the extra functionality of having an Excel sheet here that will populate the Build-Up 1 and the CAPM models. You can also use the PDF file to generate a PDF of the risk premium exhibits for the particular year that you've selected. You are welcome to go out to www.vswebapp.com, put in your login and your code, and you can get those PDF tables out there as well a little easier. Let's see how Pro has implemented the Cost of Capital Analyzer. There are two schedules underneath the Duff and Phelps folder. One is for inputs and one is for outputs for the risk premium studies. The size characteristics of the risk premium studies are here. We don't know the market value of equity, so it's a blank box. We don't know the market value of invested capital, so it's a blank box, and the software does not know how many employees the company has. You're welcome to type those in if you would like those size characteristics to be brought down. The year is determined based off of the valuation date. However, you can overwrite any of these numbers and choose the appropriate year and time. Some people will use the long-term equity risk premium that the study used, and to do that you leave this number here blank. If you'd like to normalize that, feel free to type in a number. Either way, when you click on Get Cost of Capital, you'll go up to the database and you can tell that those numbers that you've selected are being brought down. We didn't choose any equity risk premium model, so the number inside of the study is being used for this particular year. Then I would click on Analysis to download the information. Download is complete. I come back to my analysis file. I go to my next schedule down, and it's going to have all of the information on here. The build-up model is on the top part, and the CAPM approach is on the bottom part. Let me scroll down a little bit here. This information here is being brought in from the table. It's selecting the lookup portfolio off of the different relevant exhibit and bringing that number in. These numbers here are the regression model and bringing that number in over here. If I'm using the equity risk premium adjustment, that will automatically be calculated, and I can look over here and see which number I might want to use for build-up model, or which number here I want to use for the regression model. And when I decide what those numbers are, up on the top of the schedule, I click in what my number should be. In this case here, it's taking the portfolio, and that's just the default calculation. Obviously, you can type over the top of that and select the appropriate number for you. This number down here is for the CAPM models. Same thing, except for we're down the schedule a little bit. So the CAPM lookups are in this area here, and the CAPM regression is in this area here, and you get to choose which particular level you want your numbers to be at and put those up on top. It's a little subtle, and that's why we built the video. Once you've done that, then inside of your models, you go to the assumptions. Inside of the income models, you go to the assumption and you choose that you want to use the cost of capital approach here. If you want to use the build-up number, you select that one. If you want to use the CAPM numbers, you select that level. And then when you go to your cap rate page, you will see the appropriate numbers being brought into the schedule at that point in time. So when you go to the cap rate page, the appropriate numbers will be brought in over here, and that's how this works. Thank you very much.